Have you heard of the bling ring, where a group of teens started robbing celebrities' homes? Well, make way for the Barracuda Queens. It's a Swedish Netflix series that's inspired by real events that are similar to the bling ring. Lollo, Klara, Frida, and Mia are four privileged girls who call themselves the Barracuda Queens from their days of partying on Barracuda Beach. In a moment of desperation, when hit with a huge party bill, the girls hatch a reckless plan to rob their new neighbor Amina's house. Things don't go exactly as planned, but luckily Amina is more interested in joining the gang than pressing charges. Together, the girls become involved in an escalating campaign of house burglaries targeting their obnoxious rich neighbors. So this is a 6-episode series that feels like it's a limited series rather than just a season 1. The episodes, they're pretty short at 30 minutes each, so it's not a long binge at all. Now, we meet 4 friends who are on holiday partying it up, and after a raging drunken night out, the girls find themselves owing close to 200,000 kroner, which is about 18,000 US dollars. Now, even though the girls are mostly well off, they can't get help from their parents, and out of desperation, they decide to rob a neighbor's home. And after the crap hits the fan, they now have a new friend named Amina. The girls still owe a huge debt, so they decide to burgle a home. And then they get a rush from it and decide to continue their crimes. Now, this is a mix of comedy and drama, but it relies more heavily on the drama than anything funny. The chemistry between the girls, I thought it was good. They capture the tumultuousness of the relationships, where they have extreme highs and lows, which are typically exasperated by large amounts of alcohol and stress. There's also a small amount of angst within the dynamics of the group, and a couple of times it got to be tiresome, but on the whole, the emotions shared between the characters helped to drive the narrative and then helped to flesh out some of the character development. And something in this show that felt oddly included, especially because it wasn't fully explored, involved the parents of the girls. Now, all the adults are at this special party, and some of the interactions help to enhance the drama of the girls' lives and their relationships. But one part in particular was started and then completely ignored. And without getting into spoilers, it involves Amina's parents, where they both have a decision to make, and one of them chooses differently. And this is built up to appear more weighty and impactful than it actually is. I mean, after the decision is shown, that part of the story is never revisited, so it made no sense to put such a focus on it within the series. There are also 1 or 2 times when characters have something physically done to them, and their lame explanations are just accepted by those around them, whether it be doctors, police, or parents. Now, one in particular with Lollo should have raised all sorts of questions, but it doesn't. And I couldn't tell if that was just the story glossing over that part, or if they just didn't think to address it. Now, I did appreciate that there's a lot of good momentum within the series. While story elements aren't rushed, especially on the main point of following the girls and their crimes, the pace is quick moving and it doesn't drag or get bogged down much at all. I mean, there are a couple of sequences that take a bit of a dip, but they're short and they recover quickly, so it's not that noticeable. Now, I really like some of the twists and story complications that are included in this. I think you're going to see most of them coming, but it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment. But if you look at this from a moral standpoint, the show is probably going to disappoint you, especially with the way it ends. And it's an interesting arc that the story takes. This actually works to glorify the crimes. Now, the show isn't necessarily making the girls out to be heroes, but there are some people that they burgle that are pretty trashy, so it could be argued they're just the karma police sent to right the wrongs. I mean, maybe the moral dilemma of whether or not to root for the girls is part of the point in this. We clearly see that they're doing wrong, but sometimes they're going up against people who have done somebody an injustice. So do the wrongs cancel each other out? I mean, the story never outright raises that question, but it's definitely present. Now, for as much as I was enjoying the ride of this, I think the entire show could actually be cut down by removing a lot of the portions with the parents that don't necessarily move the narrative forward. The parents, they add drama and conflict, but that's about it. And to cut most of that out would probably save at least 1 full episode's worth of time. As it is, though, I was engaged in having fun. The storytelling is entertaining and inserts just the right amount of humor into the drama to prevent the show from spiraling down into something really dark. The actors, they portray temperamental young women convincingly, creating complexities that can make you like a character one moment and dislike them greatly the next. The energy of the episodes is high, helped along by an amazing soundtrack, and then instilling intensity and excitement mixed with the haphazard chaos of the burglaries. This is a satisfying and quick binge filled with some angst, drama, and moral dilemmas. There's some sex and nudity, a ton of profanity, and some violence. I give Barracuda Queens 3.5 out of 5 couches. So, are there any good shows or movies that have characters you're not sure whether to root for or against? Breaking Bad immediately comes to mind for me, but let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.